Chris Maxwell of the Sports Philanthropy Network here with Brian and Natalie Vines. Thank you so much for being here. Now, you are here representing the Wounded Warriors Project. The NFL has had a long-standing relationship with the Wounded Warriors Project since 2012, I believe. But this is your first Super Bowl experience. So before we get into the wonderful work that the Wounded Warriors Project does, what is it like being here?
This is just so exciting to see the controlled chaos of everything that's going on here in Radio Row and the things that New Orleans is doing to build up the Super Bowl. It's an exciting time to be here.
And you're walking around Radio Row, Media Center, seeing all of these outlets from all over the country. What is the most important reason for you to be here to advocate for Wounded Warriors Project, and what message are you trying to broadcast to all of these different broadcasters?
Well, I would say it's twofold. First, it's to highlight the relationship between the NFL and their relationship with the Wounded Warrior Project. It's very important the funding they give to their Salute the Service program helps Wounded Warrior Project with mental health and providing different projects like the Odyssey project, which helps soldiers overcome combat trauma and helps them with a lot of their mental health issues. So I think that's important, that relationship, but also to tell our story, that our story kind of begins with her being injured and me becoming her caregiver, and the challenges that we had with her PTSD and my PTSD, and how a situation like that could easily pull you apart. But in our case, it brought us together, and it's from tragedy really to love story. And if we can do that, if we can overcome that isolation, then anyone can. So I hope there's someone out there that our message can help.
Absolutely, and NFL really is a great partner. They have donated over $12 million since the partnership. And I know we hear it a lot, and you know better than anybody that's not necessarily true, but people will compare, the NFL, it's like going to war. Playing football, it's like being in battle. Sure, there are aspects, but obviously it is very, very different, life or death situation. However, when it does come to the traumatic brain injuries and it comes to the PTSD and the injuries that are associated with it, and I think most importantly too, transitioning, that life after leaving the service, after leaving the field, do you find a certain type of camaraderie with these athletes that you're getting to interact with and finding common ground where you can talk about these issues, open up and be vulnerable about how you've been able to heal and move forward and use the services provided by Wounded Warriors Project to really grow from it?
I do, and I want to answer that, and then I want to pass it off to Natalie and have her also answer it. But there's a lot of similarities. You have a team sport in the military and also in professional athletics. And you've got folks with different skill sets that are all working towards the common good. But at some point, whether you retire or you leave or you're injured, you're cut away from that family that you used to have. And that makes that transition that much important on how you're able to move on, hopefully seamlessly, to the next chapter of your life.
I think what Brian said is that when you leave the military, you have a purpose when you're in the military. When you leave that, you lose that purpose. And I think it's the same with the NFL. You get injured or you leave that point of your life and you lose that sense of purpose, and you wonder, what am I going to do after that? And you don't know what you're going to do, and you're kind of lost. And you want to find that team again. And so with Wounded Warrior Project, it helps you find that team again. And it's the same, I think, with the NFL. And they get out, you want to find that team again, and that's what Wounded Warrior Project helps us do, is find those veterans out there and put us back together again and bring us together again.
And you both have, of course, benefited from the work that Wounded Warriors Project does, but now that you're here as an ambassador and you're advocating for it, what is a moment in your time involved in the organization that you look as inspiring, that happened to somebody else, a highlight of your time working with Wounded Warriors Project that keeps you coming back and saying, I'm actually making a difference and this is helping?
Well, what I like about the Wounded Warrior Project, if you're familiar with the icon that's on my hat here, when you start off the Wounded Warrior Project, you're really the guy on the top that other people are carrying. And as you go through your healing process, you get to become the person on the bottom that's lifting other people up. And that has given me purpose, and through helping other people heal has helped me heal.
Same thing.
Well, how can people get involved with Salute to Service, with Wounded Warrior Project, helping this incredible mission of helping veterans who do so much for us here in the United States? As we all know, what can they do to get involved and help continue?
So the easiest way is to go to our website, woundedwarriorproject.org. On there you'll find the phone number to our resource center, and by calling into that center, they will link you up with whatever assets and resources that you may need. Now, Wounded Warrior Project specifically looks at post 9/11 veterans. However, if you served earlier than that, say in the Vietnam War, you can still call into the Resource Center and they will connect you with a peer organization that can provide you the resources that you need.
Thank you so much for everything that you do to help veterans, to help football players realize that they're not alone and they can find common ground with our veterans. And I wish you continued success in pushing this mission, and enjoy Super Bowl week here in New Orleans.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.